Hey folks, Vortex here and welcome to my review of the Moondrop Jiu, if that's a correct pronunciation. And yeah, it's very similar to the Chu model, but it uses DSP, so I'm quite curious to see how this works. And yeah, as usual, full disclaimer is I'd like to thank Shenzhen Audio Store for sending me this unit to try out, so thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video and all thoughts and opinions are my own. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. So a closer look at the box. So USB-C. So I think that does two things, DSP, and I think basically acts like a dongle. So I guess that's the differences. We'll obviously see about that. So zinc alloy, 10mm driver, titanium plated diaphragm, N52 magnet, patented anti-blocking filter because I did have some issues with that. And let's see what you get. So it should be basically the Chu in many ways. So let's get the foam out. Get all these goodies out. As you saw, I have not actually opened this box before this, so that should be it. So leather, little pouch, maybe useful for some folks. That's there. Bit of paperwork in there. Yeah, so basically the same as the Chu. Well, seem to be. Different logo though, same cable, which is a little bit crappy. Microphone as well, so seems to be 3 buttons. Obviously, I'll check that. Type C, kind of weird. I know they've done this a few times now, so quite curious to see how this works. And I guess in here should just be the tips. Yeah, so basically a Chu. So spring tips here, which used to be quite expensive, and obviously the ear hooks. I have no idea how this sounds, so obviously usual, spend some time with it, list them first, graph them at the end, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the future. Quite curious because these are a bit more expensive. These are $25. I can't remember the price of the Chu model, but it was at least $5 cheaper from memory. So yeah, I'll see you in the future. So this is a actual Jiu plugged in to my PC, which is Windows 10. I presume it's the same on Windows 11. It comes up as Jiu. So click that. Properties, levels. It's 100% by default, but you want to turn it to around 15 to 20. So make sure, otherwise it just blow your eardrums out. Enhancements, make sure them all off. Advanced, so this is what I was curious of. So it support whatever chipset they've used is 16-bit and 24-bit up to 96 kHz, which is enough. That's okay. And recording, so yeah, it does have a microphone. I am recording into my actual desktop one, that's why this is moving. But let's click the Jiu properties, advanced. So again, 24-bit, 16-bit, and 24-bit, both 48 kHz. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, so welcome to my review section of the Moondrop Jiu, if that's a correct pronunciation. And you just saw what it was in Windows 10. And yes, obviously the microphone does work. And you know, here it is. So good luck, Moondrop, Type C. Same kind of cable as the Chu, which is a bit of a letdown. It's a bit rubbery. I'm not really keen on this cable, to be honest. Y split. Now the only real difference really is obviously these. So this is the left one. It's got a different kind of effect, kind of like a flower. Now the right one, obviously this was differences. So middle button is play pause. Obviously the plus is volume up and down. And yes, that does control Windows volume as well, or if you're using the laptop or whatever, it controls system volume. And yeah, so let's talk about build quality. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's metal. Same again. A lot of this is the same as the Chu. Let's take one of these tips off. Just a different emblem. And yeah, solid. Very kind of small units. Now comfort is, again, it has the same problems as the Chu, which means this cable. See how it comes out. This is the right unit. Now, if you want to, you normally you'd be like, obviously ears here. Now by default he wants to go forward. Now as a unit I found it fairly comfortable, but the cable was a bit annoying. Yes, it does come with ear hooks, but it's a bit of a faff to, you know, messing around to use it. So it should have really been detachable, because these are, I think, $25, so it's not that cheap, but it's still obviously affordable. Yeah, so let's talk about, obviously, I would mention pounds and sensitivity. So let's talk about basically compatibility instead. So I tried this with my phone, which is a Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro, works perfectly fine. Windows 10 works fine. Also works on Windows 7 if you've got older hardware. And yeah, you saw it, 16-bit and 24-bit. Works perfectly fine. I like pros and cons. So obviously, as a positive, is it's plug and play. A lot of phones these days don't have 3.5 jacks. So you have to use either Bluetooth or a Type-C. And obviously having it built in is very useful. So I don't mind that. Obviously 3.5, well, or 4.4, you know, actually having an actual jack is always better. But yeah, it's not too bad at all. So I had no experience. You might have a phone that might not be compatible, but I had no issues at all, plug and play. And yeah, so let's talk about timbre of these. The timbre of these is actually, I was quite happy with it really. It sounds realistic. The tuning on the whole is actually not too bad at all. And yeah, timbre's good. Now I don't know if these drivers are the same as the Chus. I presume so. If I'm wrong, please do let me know in the comments. It just seems the only the real difference is is this, which is not always a bad thing. Obviously the controls as well. So let's talk about Soundstages. I found it was okay. I'd want a bit more. You'll see in later on the graph it does roll off. Again, the same as the Chu. I want a bit more, but it was, you know, it's okay. It's an IEM. Earbuds are always a bigger stage, so you have to bear that in mind. And yeah, throw in technicalities. Technicalities on this driver was fine as well. They've used a decent enough DD like in the Chu. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So sound, because that's what we're here for, and that's what this is here for, because it does another job. It does a DSP. So it's basically EQing and providing, obviously, being a USB sound card. So yeah, I've loaded the graph now, so you can have a look. Now, I didn't directly compare this with the Chus. You can also always try it with my graph, which I still have the Chus somewhere, but it's in storage. But anyway, this pair seems to have pretty good channel matching. Low end, it is a little bit light on bass, and if you can see anywhere between like 100 hertz to like 200, 250, it is very lean on the bass. So for some people who like really clean lower frequencies, is kind of, I guess, a way to explain it, this is quite good for that. Now I prefer more of a mid bass hit, because I like I said a few times, I like electronic music which typically has more bass. So it's a little bit soft for what I like, but it's a very clean sounding earphone, to be honest, overall. But yeah, bass it's okay. It's a little bit soft. It is a bit light for what I like, but because of its DSP, it sounds very clean. Is probably the best way to describe it. And straight onto the mid range, again, very clean because there's no bleed, and very gradual gain towards the top. So I found the mid range again very clean. Vocals was a touch soft, both male and female. Not all female, but I'll talk about that when they get to the treble. But mid range is clean. Some people may want a bit more upper mid range, like elevation, so it's a bit more forward. But mid range is pretty cool, pretty clean, and that's it. So treble is, these are a little boosted in the presence region, but not that much, and they're not shouty. Now again, the DSP has worked quite well. It's not on a graph, it's not that massively different from the Chus, but I haven't listened to them for quite a while. But yeah, treble is actually, it's a little bit forward, but then it also further what rolls off, so you lose a bit of the air. But yeah, treble was again fine. Instruments was clear. Yeah, quite good really. Nothing really felt out of place. I wouldn't class this as a neutral set, but it's a very clean sounding kind of fairly realistic sounding kind of set. Instead of nothing's really boosted that much where it shouldn't be. So yeah, treble was actually quite clean. I didn't really find it fatiguing. Again, it is a little bit forward at about the 3K ish area, but everything sounded right. Is kind of a good way to describe it, and I was actually quite happy with the sound. I like a bit more stage, and I like a bit more bass, but that's pretty much it really. So conclusion, do I actually recommend these? I think for the $25 mark, it's quite a good idea, but in another way, this may be bad for you if you want to use it with your player or with your phone or anything that requires a 3.5 jack, because it doesn't have it. I do like the idea that it includes a sound card for an extra basically $5. You know, it's good for people plug and play. Plug in works. Again, you get controls from the buttons. No next track or previous track, unless you can some kind of fudge that in your phone or on Windows. But yeah, on the whole, I thought these is actually pretty good. Obviously, it comes with the spring tips. So both the Chu and the Jiu come with the spring tips. Decent tips, and I remember they used to be quite expensive. Then they bundled up with it to make it quite of an appealing deal. I like the sound of these. I just don't like this kind of crap. Like, these should have really had a detachable, just a normal 2-pin kind of cable. And these would have been a much more of a better proposition. But I like the tuning. I like the idea of the Type C. I just don't like this cable, which is the same as the Chu. And apart from that, they do sound pretty good. I was quite happy with the tuning. And yeah, I'll probably end it there. If you know anything in particular, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and take care.